Alright, friends, without further ado, unlike, there's a lot of ado in between that if you actually, I mean, if I think about it, saying without further ado right now is kind of wrong, because there was a day between this and the last recording, so... And by the way, I went ahead and took the risk and checked, so y'all don't have to. It autosaves. It autosaves at seemingly random points sometimes, but often at the end of a loop. But I think during this tutorial time, it's more like different times during these tutorial loops until the game opens up, when it allows you to select game settings, which is... We'll get to why that's interesting, because it's not just you select the game settings. There's reasons to select different settings at different times in order to advance the story, which I think is fucking genius, and forces you to, expand your skill set in relation to the video game, which is cool. I like that. It makes me feel smart when I do it right. But anywho, friends, let's just continue, because I'm hype. You really want to end the game? Yes. But yeah, last time it actually auto-saved towards the end of Loop 10, after the moment that all the Gnosia have been discovered, that message popped up, and, Setsu and I believe Rakio also was there, and they said their pieces, and Setsu was like, hey, we might not be on the same side next time, but, trust me, alright? And, hell, I do trust them, and there's good reason to, even if they do end up being Gnosia a lot of the time, which, spoiler, yeah, they do, unfortunately. By the way, their hair has an interesting texture. There's, weird little bubbly things. I will zoom into it when I edit this so that you can see what I mean. But there's just weird, speckles on their hair, which I find interesting. Not bad looking, but I wonder why it's there. But anyway, I wonder if that's, it's supposed to be light, maybe. Possibly. Or not, I'm not sure. Maybe it's supposed to look like stars or something. Also, random tangent, I noticed while I was editing, I don't know if I ever noticed this while I, was just playing the game, either before or after I started the Let's Play. There's an outline of a face on the title screen. In the bottom left corner, there's an outline of someone's face, from the side, and I'm really wondering what that's supposed to mean. Is that supposed to be the protagonist? For reasons that we'll get to later, I think, or is it supposed to be anyone specific? I really wonder. Looks like I got lucky this time. I wonder if, by the end of the game, when we actually reveal the whole plot, because, gosh darn it, I'm gonna do it this time, in this playthrough, and I will use all the guides I need for that. Because I might need several, because there's pretty sparing info on this game, and I'd like to add to that info online once I beat this game, because I think there's just not enough. But yeah, I'm really wondering if, once we beat the game, we'll know what that means. Also, the title screen does change at certain points in the story. So, I'm really interested on why that might be, and I never really figured it out. But, hopefully I'll notice which points they change to, and likely have theories on how that happened. But yeah, I love this game. It's so multifaceted, and goddamn, it lights me up. It's one of those games that just are very cozy to me. I'm sure any gamer knows the feeling. There's just certain games they start playing and and that's what Gnosia feels like to me, man. I love it. It's been a while since we started a new loop together, Dergy. Well, for me, at least. Since we got some wait, hold on, wait. Started a new loop together, well, for me, at least. What? No, we've had... Most of the loops have had Setsu in it. What do they mean by that? Since we've got some time, let's share what info we have. Alright, show me your key, Dergy. I really wonder if it's she's not cognizant for most of them, or... Wait, is she looping alongside me and I haven't been there for a lot of her other loops? Is that what it's saying? I'm really wondering about that. Show me your key. Since we got some time, let's share what info we have. Show me your key, Dergy. How? You asked how to produce this key. Oh, I see. Is this your first time? No, we were shown the key. We got the key. Wait, is this restarting? Sorry, never mind. In that case, Dergy, just try thinking that you want to produce a key. Wait, is this a different me? Because we were handed the key. Now, I'm not going to spoil, but I know the plot significance of the key. And why they have it. Why Setsu has it. But I don't actually know what that has to do with this yet. I'll probably, remember later as it continues going through those plot points. Try thinking about producing a key, and there it is. Your first time producing the key is maybe all she meant, too, so that's also possible. Yeah, that's good. Everything you've experienced in past loops is recorded on that key. And by touching them together, like our genitals, what? Ah, cool. Look at all the info streaming by. That's really neat. We can share our experiences with one another. Crew data has been updated. You can view it in data reference. So, they actually just gave us a bunch of info zills, which is nice. So this is your 11th loop. Looks like I've been around a lot longer. Also, maybe your body hasn't fully gotten used to the key just yet. It looks like situational settings aren't functioning. It should start working given a bit of time. I guess that's about it. Oh yeah, and you should probably try checking out crew data. Dergy, you and I are the only ones for whom loop memories are saved. But the others retain the same personalities throughout each loop. Get to know how they think and behave, and it could help you survive. Also, it's not just about survival. Dergy, I want you to search with me. Why does this world keep looping? And how can we put a stop to it? We need to search for these answers. So yeah, this is the main plot hook of the game. Because instead of just being, you know, each loop is its own self-contained thing, there's a plot thread that you are able to unravel in specific loops, slowly doing specific things. Which sometimes includes losing even, which I think is genius. So this game forces you to think differently than you would in most other kinds of games. I fucking love that. Search together. You replied that you'll help search together. Thanks. Oh man, I love their smile there. I might use this as the thumbnail for this episode, because I love that. I love that very kind smile, but it kind of looks sad too. And, I think, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I think I know why that might be a sad smile if it is a sad smile. But we're not gonna get to that for a while, so I'll shut up about that. For now. For many hours of this Let's Play, surely. Unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot we can do. I guess we just have to do the best we can under the circumstances. Also, this time, you're the Guardian Angel, Dergy. Please help lead us to victory. Aha! Guardian Angel tutorial time. In this loop, you're the Guardian Angel. Each night, you can select one person to protect against Gnosia elimination. And as for me, I'm Gnosia. I'm gonna do what I have to do. And it's really interesting how they tell you that. One of these days I'm gonna stop. I'm not even gonna say it. I wanted to say that they look feminine again, and they do to me, but it's just, if you're not non-binary, it's hard not to do that, so I apologize, non-binary people. I'm doing my best. But the only reason I know not to say stuff like that is because I've been told by members of the LGBT community to not do that, so I'm doing my best. The discussions have begun. Setsu had admitted to being Gnosia, but... yeah. Should I doubt her? Them, Dergy, them. A proposal. Anyone with engineer credentials. I can do words, I promise. I can do words really good without tripping on my tongue all the time. I promise. Not all the time, obviously, but I'd like to never trip on my tongue. But, well, we're all damn human. I'm sure we'd all like to never do all sorts of mistakey things that we can't stop doing forever. I think part of the greatness of Let's Plays and stuff like that is, you know, you're being vulnerable about your mistakes, or at least I think it's good to be vulnerable about your mistakes and not, like, edit them out all the time at least, and... because I'm kind of guilty of that, but... see, I'm being vulnerable right now. It's really only if I repeat the same thing over and over, most of the time, but there have been times where I'm like, oh man, I could have said, this is extraneous, or I could have said that differently, and I think that it really is a discretion thing. Like, I don't know if what I'm editing out is really honest or not. Most of the time it is, but sometimes, look, but I feel insecure about this, and I'm trying to stop myself from editing out things just because I feel insecure about them. Because being vulnerable about your insecurity is... ironically, I can tell you from experience, because I've started to experience it, and it's great. The way that you become more comfortable with your vulnerabilities and with your with your sensitivities and with your insecurities is actually to share them more often, even though that's like, because here, because like I know that anyone that's super insecure does not want to hear that, because I've been through that. But listen, you know why you're so damn insecure? You keep feeding that thought by going, oh, I'm not going to share this because I don't want to talk about it. And then your mind is subconsciously like, ah, yes, that means we need to avoid anything about it. And then it gets blown up in your head. And it's not good. I promise you that sharing it might get you burned. But it absolutely will, because not everyone will burn you. I promise you, not everyone will burn you. Because I understand that you might think that, because I did at one point. But not everyone will burn you if you keep sharing this stuff at a consistent rate. And the more people you share it with, the more you realize that people are generally okay. They really are. And when people are vulnerable, the people that are not assholes will respect you more, and they will be, there will just be better relationships with the people that actually fucking matter. The people that are gonna be dicks about it don't fucking matter. So, yeah, that's how I think about that, and goddamn, it's very helpful to have that mindset compared to the extremely fear-based one I had before. And I'm still working on eliminating the fear-based one, and I may never eliminate it. Maybe thinking about it like something to be eliminated is not good either. But regardless, like, as like a general rule, but regardless, like, it's really helped me to, hell, this channel, just opening up to, at this point, not very many people, but definitely some people in my videos. Like, I don't know how many people have actually watched the parts of the video where I ramble like this about myself, but, just the possibility of sharing it with someone it really helps me feel better. And just being vulnerable about it, especially in a controlled environment like YouTube. Because it's not like people can immediately, directly respond to you in a way like they can if in real life, or if they were like a chat on a Twitch stream. That's kind of part of why I find YouTube such a comforting way to express myself. And the thing is that I love games. And games tend to bring up a lot of these kind of ideas for me, because the games that I tend to play tend to be very personal, emotional type of games, with very deep stories and character arcs and such. So, not always deep stories, but certainly a lot of emotion involved and a lot of relatable situations. Now, not every game I've ever played, of course, but a lot of games. So yeah, like, this is just a really good format for me to express myself, and I make these rambles more succinct through editing them, so I've decided to just kind of let myself talk it all out whenever I start to get the inkling that I need to. And goddamn, it's helped me feel better about life. Every time I talk about this on YouTube, and just kind of let myself talk about it, and don't... Because no one's there to have their own filter to respond with, and that's very comforting. So... Even though there are people in my life that are thankfully very good at listening, I feel like I've found that nothing is better than listening than just silence on the other end. You know what I mean? And if there's comments that piss me off, I can delete them. If there's comments that are just downright insensitive, I can delete them. It'll hurt to read them, but I can also choose when to read my comments and choose times that are better for me. I can't really do that if I'm sharing this with a person, because they'll just say whatever they're going to say or not say. And of course, every individual person can be a better communicator and a better person, but it's a skill that I feel like is pretty damn underrated in this world, and I'd like to un-underrate it as much as I can. I'd like to make it an extremely sought-after thing to be a good person and not be combative. But being combative is an entirely different thing. What I really meant is, I feel like a lot of people are so self-concerned and seem to think that they shouldn't be sensitive, especially in America. And that's fucking... self-concern is separate from that. I think what I meant by self-concern, I tend to be self-concerned a lot, but because sometimes you have to be. Especially if you're someone like me. But, what I mean by self-concerned is people that don't really consider other people's perspectives. That's fucking dangerous. I used to be like that. I ain't anymore. My life's way better. I promise you guys. Anyway, rant over for now, but I just do that. And I think I should, and I will not quit. And I will start making traction on this YouTube. Regardless of if this ends up being a career of mine, I guarantee you, I'm supposed to be sharing myself like this. It feels right. It feels like what I need to be doing with my life, and this is how I'm doing it right now. So at the very least, I'm practicing the essence of what will become my career. I can feel it, even if this will not be my career. Or Twitch, or both. But I would really love to be able to YouTube and Twitch for a living. And I'm finally settling into a rhythm where I just want to work on this stuff every day. More and more and more. And I'm just able to. More and more and more. And that's fucking awesome. Anywho, a proposal. Anyone with engineer credentials, speak up. Kukrushka raises her hand. It seems she's the engineer. So Kukrushka isn't human. It's simple. I know this because I'm the only true engineer here. See, another kind of, like, spooky thing about Rakio is they tend to, you know, have a very logical way of speaking. And when they're Gnosia, they really try to lean into that, or they can really lean into that really easily by, like, oh yeah, see, I'm using logic, and so that must mean I must be human. And they're so matter-of-fact about it that it just kind of comes off as almost naturally convincing to me. And also, because of me being me, I don't trust them one lick. Because they don't trust anyone, and they fucking don't give a shit about anyone. If no one here gives a shit about anyone else, it's Rakio, and it's Yuriko. And maybe Shaming. We haven't even met Shaming yet, but yeah. We've only had Yuriko for a loop or two, I just realized. And she's something else, and I won't say anything for now, but oh boy. Hey, wait a minute, Rakio and Kukrushka. The engineer is me. Oh snap, the fight for engineer is on, you guys! Okay, Rakio, Kamen, and Kukrushka, fight it out. Hell yeah. Also, I feel like I need to say something else about, you know, the fact that I want this to be my career. I want to talk about, I want to be open for a living, and I want to share who I am in a way that is honest and doesn't have an agenda and is really just, this is me, this is what I want to share, this is what I want to help with, this, you know, this is what I think might help people, or this is what I think is good or bad, or I just want to share myself, and I also want to be open to other people and learning things from other people, and also just sharing what I love, and my experience, and my joy, and my warmth, and my love for humanity and the things that we are able to do. And just, there's so many amazing things about this planet. People tend to focus on the negative, and I think that needs to fucking change, or else we're all gonna go insane. And I know this because I feel so content in my situation, even though you could definitely say it's not the best right now. You know why? I have a positive outlook. Shrug, you know? I think that's all I need to say for now. Although I feel like there might be something else there, but it's not quite like there yet, so I'll keep going. Maybe not actual Gnosia, but Rakio looks kind of alien-y, don't you think? I'm really inclined. It's really mostly, I really do realize that it is just because I dislike Rakio, but I'm very inclined to go ahead and agree with Shigemichi on this. And, let's see. Kukrushka's the engineer, Rakio's the engineer, Comet's the engineer. But you know what I'm gonna do? I should suspect Setsu. She's given me a freebie, and yes, she absolutely is. They absolutely are Gnosia here, sorry again. I'm actually gonna defend them, because I do not know, I don't have any kind of definitive logic, but I do know it's Setsu's Gnosia. I'm just gonna focus on getting them being suspicious of, hopefully. You pointed out some questionable points about Setsu. So, I guess I'm in the way, huh? Yeah, unfortunately, and hell, you're the one that brought it upon yourself. Personally, I want to trust Setsu over Dergy. Oh boy, that's not a good sign, but, well, I'm the only one who can literally know right now. So I don't blame them. Also, they might also be Gnosia, that's the other thing. Although I'm not sure if this early on they're gonna give you 3 Gnosia. I don't even know if you can look. Can you? Hold on. Can I, like... crew... Yeah, okay, there's only 2. You can always look. And in the first game, I didn't do that, so yeah. The right button is crew, number of Gnosia, and all of the roles that are present. And that is also very good information to refer to from time to time when you're making all your Logic-y Durgan-ness and other Logic-y whatever your name is-ness. And then... So, yeah. And then there's current status, and it'll show everyone's roles that you're aware of. Everyone's roles that have been established. Like, for example, if you were the engineer and you discovered someone was Gnosia, then the Gnosia tag, like is over Setsu right now, would be on that person. But right now, we don't know who the fuck the other Gnosia is. So, yeah. It is probably one of the 3 engineers, though, I would have to guess. Because there can only be 1 AC follower, so it's likely one of the other 2 engineers. One of the 3 engineers. I guarantee you it is, but we'll see. There's not a lot of guarantees in a game this random, but this early on, there's more guarantees than later on. And by this early on, I mean when you can't literally randomize the whole game. You know? And we'll be able to do that soon. Like Setsu said, we, don't have the ability to change settings yet. I do harbor my own doubts about Shigemichi. I can feel it. Something squishy in my very guts. Shigemichi is not one of the engineers, right? No. So I'm gonna also defend them. Now, granted, I defended Rakio, but I'm trying to make Setsu known right now as what she is. Because she gave us the freebie, we might as well use it. As much as, like, this game kind of pulls your heartstrings a lot, because you have to betray the characters you love. You have to, in order to beat the game. You absolutely must, over and over and over, even. Boy, and this game's kind of allowed me to become heartless toward it specifically. And it's kind of an interesting feeling when you do that, because you pull yourself back and it's like you have less of an emotional filter. And I think this game is best enjoyed like that, not just because of the pain, but also just you can get a better sense of what's going on. Now, granted, there's still the characters that I hate, that I will continue to hate. And I really feel like that's supposed to be it, because they all end up being antagonists in some way, even in the overarching story. From what I've realized, the characters that tend to have the kind of traits that I'd say are more unlikable than others, but there's probably people that literally just love them as characters anyway, because people are varied and interesting. I've definitely run into a lot of people that I'm like, why the fuck do you like this character? I don't understand. But, you know, I don't have to understand. It's their brain, not mine. Their life, colored by their experiences, you know. Deciding, oh my god, you suck because you like blah that I don't like is the most stupid thing, and everyone should stop doing that. I admit I've been guilty of it. I think we all have, but we need to fucking stop. And I'm doing my best to never do that shit, because it sucks. I don't think I've succeeded yet in never doing that shit, but I use the keyword yet, because I think that's important. Because if you just say, oh man, and just leave it negative, when you say, oh, I can't do this, or I haven't done that, or it just tends to make you more liable to perpetuate the same stuff, I feel like. At least that's what I think about that. I don't know, I have a lot of very obviously outliery ways of looking at things, but I think that they're valid. And I hope that they can help people. And again, I bet that by continuing to reach out, as hard as it can seem, and I'm better and better at reaching out all the time, and I'm so grateful for that, I can feel that reaching out is absolutely what I need to do as a person. I need to keep making stuff like this. I need to keep working on speaking my mind like this to people in videos, in writing, and see what happens, you know? And in whatever other way that I decide in the future. Like I said, I think I'm here to share myself, and that I think I have a lot to share that might be more value than I ever thought possible. Or at least I might gain more to share. Through experience, through skill gained, you know, that kind of a thing? You know, because it's not just my words that I'm talking about. Like, for example, there's my words, what I'm saying, but there's also my love for this game that is here. And also just my convictions and my general things that I think should be and shouldn't be. And I'm also putting that in here, and I think it's important for everyone to be able to express themselves that way. I'm gonna go ahead and defend everyone but Setsu right now, because I want, you know, because again, like, they're the only one we know about. And when you have a Gnosia you know about, you need to be careful about pushing them too much, because then you'll be suspicious, but you need to push them. So, at least if you're on non-Gnosia side and you're trying to win. There's a nice little couple of asterisks there, because this game is really deep and interesting and intricate. But, yeah, for the moment. Just come down and talk this through, everyone. It's too emotional, the enemy's got us. Oh boy, no one fucking believes me. I feel like... I don't know... Now, granted, I don't know if this is scripted in this case. It might be because I have low charm or charisma. Isn't there a charm and a charisma stat? I'm not sure what the difference is right now. And I'm also not sure if those are what I'm thinking of, but... I'm gonna wait and see for the moment. Stop evading and vote. I almost guarantee you they're not gonna vote for Setsu. They voted for... Comet and Rakio. I'm more liable to vote for Rakio because I don't like them very much, but Comet could very well also be Gnosia, and Kukushka could be. It also... No, I'm pretty sure with 3 engineers, one of them's Gnosia. No, not even pretty sure. There can only be one AC follower. Actually, no, there isn't AC followers. Actually, I can look. I can look in a second. There might be one. It's one of those checkboxes. Or fill-in boxes, I guess, in this case. Can I look now? Yeah. AC follower, yes, there is one. So, yeah, yeah, of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? Because there's only 2 Gnosia. So, yeah. Of those engineers, one is the AC follower, one's the other Gnosia. There's no... So, I have a 2 out of 3 chance of getting one of our enemies out. Either one that's saying confusing things to trip people up, or an actual Gnosia. So, doubting any of the engineers at all, getting one of them voted out is smart, but I knew Setsu was Gnosia. But yeah, Setsu is not going to be one of the most suspicious. The most suspicious people in these situations are always going to be the roles that have multiple people claiming them. Which, obviously, right? So, then another vote among Rakio, Shigemichi, and Comet. It's like a total battle. I'm going to... Hold on, which one's the... okay, so there's 2 different engineers, right? Yeah, Comet. I'm gonna vote for Rakio. I'm not sure who it might be, though. But I was the question points about Rakio. Rakio was lying on this one. You see, again, you might just be saying that because you're Gnosia or an AC follower and trying to get one of the other engineers out of the picture, but, you know. Believe or not to believe, Rakio. Should we not choose to believe like against otherwise? I agree, I don't feel like it's gonna be like provide information says my friendship with Rakio. Okay, so this is good. Another doubt for Rakio, and I will of course agree with that. And so we'll comment. I have a feeling that's gonna get Rakio got. Yes, we're good. Yeah. For a second there was like, are we? Because a lot of people voted for Shigemichi, but thankfully. I don't think she can... There's no fucking way in this situation specifically that Shigemichi is it, so I'm glad. I won't even say bye to them. I know I said I go out of my way to do that, but there will be times... See, granted, you know what? You know what that was? I forgot. I like to go out of my way to say goodbye to them, but there will be times where I forget. Because instead of advancing text like you're going to be used to doing a lot in this game, especially if you mash because you know what's going to happen and you want to get a move on, and there's a lot of repetitive dialogue in the way, yeah, there's going to be times where at least I will probably continue to do that, but, you know, I always will try to say goodbye to them because I want to. And honestly, man, I'm not very fond of the fact that I reflexively gave an excuse, like, oh, no, see, I didn't even want to do that, because fuck Rakio. But no, that's not what it was. It was literally I forgot to press the button. But, like, I reflexively, instantly was like, oh, no, here's the reason, because I'm so used to trying to justify myself. Because it used to feel like the only way that I could possibly be liked by people. Because... You know, making sure that all of my mistakes that I make all the time have really good reasons behind them. But see, that's what I've started to realize. People pick up your dishonesty. People don't really like people. And the people doing that, like, constantly trying to justify themselves. And it's better if you're more... And what I've started to realize is that it wasn't the mistakes. It wasn't mistakes are way less of the kind of thing that are going to get people to dislike you or just generally defer to you less or, treat you more amicably than, like, it's even a subconscious thing, but, like, and generally be frustrated with you than, like, trying to constantly excuse yourself out of things. Because, yeah, that's just a hair trigger thing for me. Because I hate feeling... Now, this is not as much of an issue as it used to be, but it's still an obstacle for me. Feeling like I am in the wrong and that it was all my fault, and that there was no other... Or that, like, it was definitely... I made a mistake, it wasn't anything deliberate. It's stuff like that, right? Like, the very idea of that, and the very idea that if you tally up my whole day, the amount of mistakes I make is so big. And I bet this is more true for other people than I realize. Nowadays, I'm starting to get that. But for most of my life, it literally felt like I must make all the mistakes in the world, and I'm just the most... Not all the mistakes, but, like, more mistakes than everyone else, or most people at least, and I'm just this... I'm just this pathetic person that no one can rely on because all I do is mess up. And I've started to realize that in certain ways, I am very reliable. And it's just no one can be reliable in every way. And the way that I'm so insecure about being unreliable for is the thing that, a lot of people are all about punctuality and about, being careful and other things that are very hard for people with ADHD. So no fucking wonder I developed insecurities about that. But that isn't the only way you can do that, and you can increase those skills. I would say I am better at a lot of these things than I used to be. I can absolutely point to proof, even. But a lot of times my brain will still go to the same feeling when I make that one mistake, even if I make it less than I used to. But yeah, be vulnerable, friends, like I did, and because it literally felt like a weight just fell off my chest there. Like, literally, I felt like this energy, this heavy energy just kind of rise out of my chest, and now I feel lighter inside. I'm not joking. Like, that shit literally releases negative shit trapped in you. So, I believe in y'all, friends. Anywho. Alrighty. Levelly, Dergy. Alright. Charm and stealth, I'm getting so makes you more amicable, less likely to select for cold sleep. Charisma was probably what I was looking... Yeah, charisma and charm are their own things, and usually those are, like, interchangeable words for the talkable stat, the talky stat. The being persuasive or attractive stat in, like, other RPG-type games, and I play so many of them. That's why charisma and charm were like, huh? But yeah, charisma in this game is... There's the influential power of your comments, making others more likely to agree and follow your lead, and charm makes you more amicable, less likely to select the cold sleep, and that's helpful. I might start jacking up my charisma, because I was used to having pretty high charisma, because I jacked that up right after I jacked up my intuition. But having stealth and charm to survive is nice, and I've got those jacked up a little bit, so I might start putting points in that, but I would like to get a skill from one of these first. Can I maybe get a charm skill if I do this? No. I don't know when the hell I'm going to start getting skills, but I'm going to start jacking up my charisma, I think. But I really think I should get a skill from something before I should go on to something else. And right now, surviving will help me survive long enough to make things happen, and to win games which will allow me to level up. So... Because if I get eliminated, then, you're gonna get less XP, and that way, yeah, the more I think about it, yeah, going Charm and Stealth early is smart, because it gives you less of a chance of just being eliminated from the game, and thus getting less XP, because you don't get to the end of the game. Because I think even if you lose, if you get to the end of the game, I do believe you get more XP. Don't quote me on that, but it would make sense that that happens. I know you get a lot more XP from winning, I know that, and obviously, duh, right? But anywho.